Hey, how's it going? I keep hearing about this end of the world thing coming up December this year, and some people believe that a planet or brown dwarf star is going to be making a close approach to the Earth, and this close approach will cause pole shifts and worldwide catastrophes of all kinds. And they say that its orbit takes about 3,600 years to make one circuit, all right? And that every time it has come close to the Earth, some horrible catastrophe has occurred. What I have never heard from any of the Nibiru evangelists is what was the last worldwide catastrophe that happened due to Nibiru's close approach. I haven't heard anything. I mean, they always talk about, well, these things happened, and give me a specific event. Now, let me give you one. In the mid 1700s, there was a volcanic eruption in Iceland, and this dust cloud caused crops to fail. And most notably, the wheat harvest in France was particularly bad, and this eventually led to the French Revolution, the overthrow of the monarchy, the Reign of Terror, all these other things. But that eruption did not affect most of the planet. In fact, it is primarily something that happened to Europe. Now, there was a volcanic event that happened a long time ago. It was the Toba supervolcano. Now, this was on the island of Sumatra, and it's a volcano that is actually a caldera, like a crater in the ground. And this volcanic eruption caused a massive cloud of dust to cover much of the planet, and some people attribute that to mass extinctions, which occurred around the same time. Most notably, Gigantopithecus, which is a prehistoric primate, larger than the modern gorilla, and around that same time of the Toba supervolcano's eruption, Gigantopithecus died out. And in fact, some scientists are claiming that because of this eruption and the global cooling that occurred because of it, the human population dwindled down to a few thousand. And this was the closest approach to human extinction ever. This happened about 73 to 75,000 years ago. Now, the Nibiru 3,600-year circuit, that was about 20 rotations ago. So when your Nibiru believing friends tell you that every time Nibiru has come close to us, this horrible thing has happened, ask them what. Because a simple Google search, if you subtract 3,600 from 2012, you get a general time frame, and you can find out what was happening around the world around that same time. And you subtract 3,600 from that, and you have another. And so for the past 10,000 years or so, we haven't seen any worldwide catastrophe. We've seen local catastrophes, certainly. We've seen things happen in certain locations around the planet that were devastating there locally, but nothing that affected the entire planet. Remember, if Nibiru was going to make a close approach to Earth, it's not making just a close approach to Iceland or the Black Sea or Africa. It's passing the entire planet. So any worldwide catastrophe that has happened because of Nibiru should have affected the entire globe and not just a piece here, a piece there. I mean, while you're having a drought in China, they're having bumper harvests in Africa, or rise of civilization in ancient Latin America, that sort of thing. And so a catastrophe that happens on one side of the world can't be counted as being the result of a Nibiru close approach. So if your friend tells you that every time Nibiru comes around, something horrible happens to the entire planet, ask them to give you something specific, and I can guarantee you that they will not be able to. They will not. because the last thing that happened that affected the world, at least a significant portion of it, was the Toba supervolcano. And that, of course, nearly led to the extinction of the human race. But back in 2000, I think it was late 2004, early 2005, there was this tsunami in the Indian Ocean that stretched all the way from the South Pacific all the way to Africa. But as far as North America and South America were concerned, it was like, well, yeah, that was horrible, but it happened on the other side of the planet. And that, of course, was long before Nibiru's anticipated arrival. That happened 2005. And so you can't blame that one on Nibiru. And that was certainly a catastrophic event, as was the tsunami that struck Japan recently. But what people need to understand is the basic structure of the solar system tells us that if Nibiru were on its way, we would be able to see it, of course, in the night sky. It would be, I know this is a wide area, it would be somewhere between the orbit of Saturn and the orbit of Mars by now. And we can see Saturn and Mars with the naked eye, but we can't see Nibiru for some reason. And of course, all these people are saying, well, you know, you can see it here or there. Every time they post a picture, it's something that, oh, I know what that is. That's a supernova that's like 10,000 light years away from us. So that's the sun through a dust cloud, that sort of thing. So there's no uncontested photo of Nibiru, no photo of Nibiru that has been put forward that has not been debunked yet. People who are proselytizing this and hope to get people to, you know, follow them on their blog or their YouTube channel or on Twitter or something like that. People who like to have followers and people listening to every single word they say. And of course, those people who want to make money off of this whole thing. These are the people who are spouting this stuff. People that are selling new books and they're being paid to do lectures and that sort of thing. These are the people who are propagating this crap. Now, see, the solar system actually consists of like 3 or 4 elements. One, of course, is the sun, which is the bulk of the matter of the solar system, obviously. Then, of course, you have the planets. Now, when we say inner planets and outer planets is from the asteroid belt in, so that's Mars, Earth, Venus, and Mercury. Those are the inner planets. The outer planets is Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Then, of course, you have the Kuiper belt objects, such as Pluto and Eris, and a few other objects out there. Now, the Kuiper belt is like a ring of matter that circles around the solar system proper. It consists mostly of small objects, frozen water, methane, nitrogen, rock, of course, and that's where Pluto is, and other objects like Makemake and Nix and Eris, those planets. They're all out there in the Kuiper belt. Now, scientists theorize that there is yet another group of objects, the Oort cloud. And the Oort cloud is just simply more, as far as I know, more of the same of what's in the Kuiper belt. This frozen water, methane, nitrogen, rock, just circling around, more or less in like a globe shape. It's not really a globe, okay, but it's actually globe shaped, circles around the entire solar system. And now the Oort cloud is where a lot of astronomers are thinking that this is where our long period comets come from. The long period comets are the ones that take hundreds of thousands of years to make a single circuit around the planet. And the short-term comets are like Halley's Comet, anything under 100 years, thereabouts. I hope I have that right. My days of being an amateur astronomer are some years behind me, so I'm just going by memory here. But if you take Nibiru's orbit, let's assume that Nibiru is, in fact, a planet. And it circles out every 3,600 years. Its closest approach is 93 million miles. Let's say 100 million miles, okay? Closest approach, 100 million miles. And its furthest distance from the sun, its apogee, would take it far out into the Oort cloud. Because it's a circle. It would be more like a cigar shape. If it was circular, that would really be interesting. But it would go out into the Oort cloud. Now, this large object, what people are saying it's about the size of Jupiter, this large object going out into beyond the Kuiper Belt, because its orbit would be way, 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 way past Pluto. It would be going out as far as further than Pluto, in fact, through the Kuiper Belt, into the Oort cloud, and then turn around and coming back. Well, the thing is, when you have this large object going through the Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud, it's going to disturb the things that are out there now. It's going to cause them to go flying in all directions, and a lot of them would be coming into the solar system proper, which is where we are, along with the other 7 planets. We should be seeing an increase in comet activity. We absolutely should, but we are not. Now, 4 gas giants we have, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, they do catch a lot of comets. I mean, it's like having 4 giant vacuum cleaners out there in the outer solar system, but they don't catch them all, as the craters on Mercury and Mars and our own moon, as well as some of them here on planet Earth, will tell us there are occasionally asteroids and comets that do smack right into those planets, cause a lot of devastation. Now, this object was supposed to be heading back toward us. We should be having more of those coming in our direction, but we're not seeing anything. Astronomers can predict when particular asteroid showers will come. They come at certain times of the year, certain months. We know generally, okay, this meteor shower is going to be coming in our direction next month or 2 months, 6 months from now. They know these things. They know when the comets are coming. And this is why we know, oh yeah, next year somebody's comet, whatever. We know what's coming next year. So astronomers do have these things plotted out. If Nibiru was real, it should throw off all those things. We should not be able to count on such and such a comet or such and such a meteor shower happening at any given time, because it would be disturbed by this large object. So not only should we have more comet and meteor activity, we should not be able to predict as well as we can now the meteorite and comet activity that we already have documented. So the problem I have with this, what really offends me, is back when that guy, some preacher, predicted the end of the world last year, people killed themselves, and they killed members of their family, fearing that the end of the world was going to come. And rather than suffer through the end of the world, they decided to kill themselves before it could happen. And I mean, it's different with religion. Religion, you can believe all kinds of crazy things. Be my guest. But if you believe crazy things, and this crazy thing gets you to killing yourself and or others, that's where I have a problem. And you have people making movies, like the 2012 movie, and people writing books and giving lectures and posting videos to YouTube, just furthering this paranoia, this ungrounded fear, which could result in human harm, which could result in people dying. That's where I have a serious issue with this. Now, there is no scientific evidence to back up the existence of the planet Nibiru. Now, some people who believe in Nibiru say, oh, NASA found this rogue, this planet X, Eris. We've known about Eris already for about a year now. Eris is not coming this way. Now, some people have associated the planet Nibiru with the supposed planet Tyche. Now, there are some astronomers who hypothesize that there is a giant, there's a gas giant somewhere in the Kuiper Belt. And this is their proposed explanation for certain activities that they cannot yet explain going on in the solar system right now, in the Kuiper Belt objects. Well, they are supposing this is true. I mean, it's a hypothesis at this point. It's not even a theory yet. They have no direct observation of it. It's just like, well, we think that this could explain that. There is no evidence that Tyche exists. It's a hypothesis being put forward by astronomers. And Eris we know about. It's a little bit bigger than Pluto. We know pretty much where it is right now. It's one of the dwarf planets. It's already been classified. So you can even find its Wikipedia page. Just Google errors. So I mean, there's all this misinformation going on about the Planet X and Nibiru and all this other garbage. If anyone's going to tell me that every time Nibiru comes by and causes some horrible catastrophe on planet Earth, I would like to. I would like them. I challenge them directly to tell me what was the last global catastrophe that happened when Nibiru was here. 3,600 years ago, what happened to the entire planet that Nibiru caused? All right. Thanks.